All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for your patience. We're going to move on to the Finance Committee meeting of the San Bernardino CISD, Monday, November the 5th, 2018, and it's approximately 6:45. Let's go on to agenda item number 2, review and discussion of proposal of 4 Bluebird school buses. Ms. Rendon?
Yes, Mr. Lopez. Ms. Flores is here. Do you have any questions? We're bringing forth, and has been appropriated in the budget. We discussed during the budget workshop. We're bringing before you to purchase 4 Bluebird buses. These are gas buses in the amount of $93,789 per unit. Ms. Flores? We did ask 2 vendors, and she has chosen to go with Rush Services, and she'll do the highlights.
Okay. Good evening, Board of Trustees. So this year we decided to go with the Bluebird gasoline. This is the first year that we are able to purchase gasoline because they were not previously available. I want to go ahead and go in the direction of gasoline because we have been experiencing some difficulty with the diesels. There's a lot of components that are involved in maintaining diesel school buses. And so just looking from the basic mechanics, just to do like a preventive maintenance, for example, in gasoline, we're talking somewhere in the range of $200 for gasoline in comparison to a diesel school bus. Just to do preventive maintenance, we're looking at about $1,000. So, and that's due to the fact that the diesels, we have a lot of filter components. We have the turbos that also require that are required for the engine. What we're experiencing right now with our diesel school buses, and that includes the brand new buses that we have, or the 2018, are that because they are diesel, they're like they have a self-cleaning mechanism, but that you have to get them up to a certain speed. And if you're doing in-town routes, a lot of times that when you don't get to that speed, it doesn't increase the temperature of the engine, and so therefore it doesn't do the self-cleaning, kind of like your appliances at home. Sometimes they do the self-cleaning process. Well, it's the same thing with the diesel. So the filters are getting clogged up, and so we are having to take them back to our vendors. And of course, first year they're under warranty, but after year 1, it does cut, the expenses come out of our budget, and so we're looking at anywhere from $2,000 to maybe $2,500 in expenses to having to maintain the diesel buses. So I want to go ahead and give the gasoline buses a try this year. When we're looking at cost, we're about $3,000 cheaper for gasoline, but in the long run, mechanically, we're going to save on the maintenance of the gasoline buses. So that's one of the reasons I want to go ahead and purchase the 4 gasoline. And I chose Bluebird because they have over 3,500 school buses nationwide already that are gasoline. And they actually released their school buses in March of 2018. And Longhorn, they just released their gasoline school buses in the last few months. So they have about, I think it's under 200, they might be about 150 buses that are actually out throughout school districts. And Rush or Bluebird, they have a higher quantity that they've had running out in the school districts.
Ms. Flores, just for clarification, this is a new phenomenon in the transportation world, is those companies moving to gasoline. And for instance, out of the 3 companies we've bought from, 1 doesn't even have gasoline yet, right?
Thomas, that's correct. And I was going to mention that right now. Thomas was unable to provide me a quote because they don't do gasoline. One of the reasons that the manufacturers are going back to gasoline is because of the problems that school districts are experiencing across the nation with the diesel. And this year they brought out what they call a component regen, which is supposed to eliminate all those problems that we're experiencing already with the diesel self-cleaning process. But for us, we're already invested with a large fleet of diesel, so the regen is going to help only in the future purchases of school buses. So I think it'll be a good idea to invest in small, well, not saying 4 buses for 93,000 is a small purchase, but I mean, in comparison to purchasing $1.6 million or for right now, I think it's a good investment for us to go ahead and make that purchase and see how we do in terms of maintenance and cost in the next couple of years, instead of us continuing to invest in diesel buses, which we already know what problems we are experiencing.
Ma'am, so we currently have 18 new buses, correct? On a
Correct.
lease?
Yeah, yes, we have 18 2018s, and we have 5 2017s, and then we have 5 that are 2015s, and then the rest are 2014s.
Okay, so what, I'm more sure, the 18 that we purchased, or the 18 that we leased out last year, what was the name of the company that we leased it from?
Longhorn.
Longhorn. So
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming that Longhorn doesn't have gas, or they have gas?
They have gas, but Longhorn is a vendor for International.
Okay.
And they have less than 200 gasoline buses out in the nation. So right
So it-
now, Bluebird has over 3,500, if my numbers are correct.
So is it possible in the near future for, to be fiscally responsible, to transition out of the lease of the diesel into gas with Longhorn?
I say right now it's hard to answer that question because right now even the manufacturers with that new regen device that they came out, it depends how that works. I mean, it's a new product that's supposed to eliminate all those diesel problems that we're experiencing.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
So it's hard to answer that one right now.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Flores,
Yes, sir.
as far as the other buses, what are their capacity?
77,
77 kids also?
yes, sir, and these will be 77 passengers. For our district, it doesn't make any sense to invest in like the 71. It's always better with our student population to do 77
Okay.
because they come in packs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Usually pick up.
Is there any concern with our mechanics or our technicians as far as training and certification with the gas instead of the diesel?
There actually, I do have a concern with who our current staff, because I only have 2 mechanics that are trained or educated in the diesel field. I have 2 mechanics that actually have degrees in diesel mechanics. The other mechanics are more trained, I guess, if you want to call it, as by the time they're trained on the job. They've been there already for several years, and that's who I inherited. So they're being trained as they work on certain buses. But since my tenure here, I've kind of not allowed that because of I don't feel very secure that they're the ones that are making the final decision since they don't have the educational background. So what I'm doing is I have them work on more the mechanical problems. And if they're not qualified to make a decision on those diesel repairs, those problems are forwarded to the 2 diesel mechanics that we actually have. So they repair the bigger jobs.
So we have 2 who are formally trained and have appropriate certifications for diesel mechanics,
That is correct.
bringing on the gas engine. So do we have people who are appropriately trained and certified to work on those?
That they're not certified. They've been trained on the job.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Flores,
Yes, ma'am.
how often do you buy buses, or how often are buses bought through the school district?
I've been here since November 2016, and the first year I was here, we purchased 5 new buses, and the second year I've been here, it was a purchase of 18.
And they're all diesels?
They've been diesel, that is
So,
correct.
so now you're making this transition from diesel to gas?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
then, from now on, you're saying that we should start now purchasing buses that take gasoline?
I'm not saying that permanently. I would like to make this purchase for gasoline only because of all the problems that we're experiencing with the diesel, the sensors and all the filters. It's been across pretty much the nation, like different districts. That's the reason the manufacturers are going back to gasoline, because they had stopped manufacturing the gasoline buses. I think it would be a good idea for us to invest in them to see how we do in terms of maintenance. with the gasoline, and that way we can compare them to our 2018 diesel. And it'll give us the opportunity too to see what the manufacturers come up with, that new regen system that they're coming out. And it'll give us the opportunity to allow other districts that are still purchasing diesel to see what kind of problems they experience with the new module, that regen. Because right now, we're all dealing with the same problem. But no one has really purchased the regen one, so I don't know if that's actually eliminating the problems that we're experiencing. So I think it would be a good idea for us to try the gasoline, since we already know we're gonna have problems with the diesels.
Okay, and then these guys that you're telling us, you have how many mechanics?
I have 5
Five of
mechanics.
them. And they're not certified for diesel? And they're going to be trained or are being trained?
Well, I only have 2 that we allow to work on the diesel. When we have diesel issues, those are the 2 mechanics that do the repairs.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any plans to educate the other 3?
We've actually been sending them to our trainings that we have at the end of the year. So they did attend some classes this previous year for certification. Now specifically for diesel, that is something that it has to be through formal education.
So, like in the car industry, they're ACE certified. So
Right.
what certification are these 3 individuals that are working with gas and that will work with gas, what kind of certification will they be receiving?
It would be the same one.
AC?
It would be the same one, yes, sir. And we do have the classes that are offered through the actual manufacturer, which are the ones that we go at the end of the year, Longhorn and Bluebird. They do provide training specifically for their engines.
Okay. You mentioned that some of the newer buses that have the diesel, that they have some issues with the sensors and whatnot. Is that not covered by the manufacturer's warranty, or how does that work
It is. It's covered for the first year.
for the first year?
It's
Okay.
covered for the first year, and so that's why we're now incurring cost on the buses that we've had for over a year.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Lopez, on this one, the high school would like to purchase 95 laptops for the teachers. These would be paid out of Title I funds. Ms. Peña is here if you need additional information. They are geared, I spoke to her earlier, to work with the new smart boards. 95, I asked her a question in regards, those are the funding that she had capability from her Title I fund, so that's where she's starting. Their plans are to recoup the ones that they get back and recondition them and trade out some of the ones that they're having issues with.
Ma'am, just to be transparent, so everybody understands, when was the last time we purchased laptops for our teachers,
Ms.
for the high school?
Peña?
For the high school, or for the district? We purchased in August laptops for the new teachers. We purchased 45, but those were for all new teachers.
Okay, what about the teachers that have been here previously?
Last year, we also, at the beginning of the school year, we also purchased about 50 of them, and that's been it.
Okay, so we've got 95 total up to this point? Right.
Yeah, but they were for new teachers.
For new teachers, okay, so then what we're purchasing right now for the high school,
This
that's
is
for
for-
all teachers?
For her existing teachers. Right now, as of today, I pulled a report from Skyward for all her teachers that have teacher access. She has 175 teachers, and she's purchasing 95, so she's going to focus on the teachers that have the very old laptops first.
Okay, so we're weaning out the old ones for the new ones? So I'm assuming they've been there for what, 5, 6, 7 years?
Yeah,
Or longer?
about 4 or 5. Some of them have very old laptops.
Okay, so we're expecting in the near future some more some more requests for additional, or how are we prioritizing this whole situation? Are we, I guess my question is prioritizing, once again. So I'm more than sure we have an inventory list of all the old laptops that are still out there issued to teachers that are teaching right now at all our campuses.
Yes.
So my question is, how do we prioritize that to make sure that they have equipment that actually, number one, works when they need it to work, or?
We do use our work order system, so the teachers do enter work orders, and we base it on that. If
And
the laptop is under warranty, of course, we use that. If it's not under warranty, then and it
Okay.
doesn't have the repair, then we go back to the campus and we offer the quotes that are necessary to fix them. If the principal wants to buy them, they do, and if they don't have funds, they
Okay, so it's allocated to the principals that have the funds to
Correct.
do it. Okay, my second question, and I'm a novice to this because I don't know. How many different how many different,
So right now, we
Com-
have two brands. We have MacBooks and we have Dell. The newer Dell laptops, we are equipping them with the proper storage and RAM because of the software that we're using for the new interactive projectors.
okay,
The MacBooks are older laptops. They've been around for a while, and they do need those laptops upgraded as well.
so how much, well, I guess my question is, how much would it take to upgrade all those laptops, the Macs, and their lifespan? I mean, how much, I mean,
Well, the last quote that I acquired for 300 laptops was going to be about $300,000 or $400,000 just for the laptops, and that probably covers all of the elementary teachers.
okay. All right,
My question to dovetail his on usage and whatnot, do teachers have the option to say, no, I want to keep my old laptop and find a way to upgrade their memory on there? Or do
The
you just,
MacBooks are really not, we can't really upgrade those anymore. We just basically,
So-
we just need to get them a
so they
new
don't
one.
have an option?
No.
Okay.
I guess in my question is, just like buses, there's a cycle, right? There's a, what is it, 3
3
or
to
4
5
years?
years.
3 to 5 years. So do we have an inventory list of who's up for a new laptop and who's not?
We are working on that.
Okay.
To-
And is that going to be maintained
I
annually?
would like to, yes.
okay.
But we
se-
would need the funds for that.
Okay, the second question regarding the Windows version, the Dell and whatnot, are you all going for the i7s, i5s, i3s? What's
We're-
your,
The Dell is an
focus?
i5 with 16 gigs of RAM, 256 solid state drive.
is that fast enough for them?
Yes,
It is? Okay,
these, yeah.
all right. Okay, thank you.
Another question on for a teacher to get a new computer, are they still having to take a test? Like I know
No.
I had to take a test before I got a new computer, a laptop. Yes, we needed
No.
to test. Yeah, we
Did you
would, we
pass
had
the
to.
test, Ms. Weaver?
Yeah, we did. We had, yeah, of course, I got a brand new one.
It's a STAR test.
No, but that was a requirement. The teachers needed to test,
Mm-hmm.
take a test in order to get a brand new computer or laptop.
That was a requirement, and when I came on board, I did call TA because I thought it was a state requirement, but it wasn't. It was a local requirement.
Okay, I
and so
hated
we
that.
did away
Good.
with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Peña, these new laptops are all Skyward compliant, so it'll make everything flow very smoothly, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Peña.
thank you, ma'am.
She didn't laugh at that, Dr. Hernan.
No. Agenda item? All right, let's move on to agenda item number 4, review and discussion to amend the compensation plan. Ms. Mendoza?
Ms. Lopez, on this, there's some items that have come across that we need to amend. On the first page, under coordinator, we've added a coordinator Gear Up. Since we've gotten the new Gear Up grant, it does indicate for us, or it funds us 3 new Gear Up coordinators, and they are based on 197 days, so we're amending our compensation, administrative and professional pay scale in that area. And the other 2 changes were, I'm gonna see, because I don't have a color copy.
It's
But-
the Rotary Club sponsor at the high
Yes.
school. It's a $1,500 stipend. We added in a club this year. The Rotary Club pays $500 of that. The district pays the additional $1,000. And then we're asking to add on for CTE contracted services. For part-time employees, we bring over after school, for example, to add in welding classes like we're doing, or additional courses. And based on their area of certification, we have a range of what we pay them.
When we added these, did we look at our TASB compensation guide? Because we spent a lot of time creating this plan to make sure it was comprehensive. So did we take a look at that, or did we just finger to the wind, kind of?
Well, the only one would be in the coordinator, and we kept it where all other coordinators are. So that would fit in the same area. If you notice the coordinator, it's along with other coordinators. And it is aligned with the grant amount that they
Okay.
are funding us. On the stipends, sir, those are just added, that is something new on the contracted services, and that it's necessary because when someone is contracted, we have to decide whether they're employees or they're gonna go through the contract. So we need some leadway to meet the IRS so that we can properly classify when an employee is an actual part-timer and versus when it's an actual contract. So we put a range between 25 and 100, just so that we can give the, we don't keep bringing it to you with different contracted amounts. And then the Rotary, I think that was a new stipend that was not previously.
Ms. Pham, can you explain that one, the CTE contracted services, what does that look like? I mean, who would be doing some kind of services like that? Can you give me an example?
Well, in the CT, it's more the specialty, such as we don't need a full-time welding instructor. They're just gonna come in and do 2 hours, one class. So they're not considered full-time, they're part-time. Now, they don't fit, and we have, if you look a little higher, where it says classified, set amounts that are at 30. Well, in a specialty like that, the rates are way higher than the $30 an hour. We might have occupational, and I'm just going off not CTE, but we might have an occupational person that we contract, but this one, it's there because of the time we consider it's all year. It's gonna be 2 days a week, 2 days a week for 2 hours. Are they really contracted, or are they more part-time? And the part-time being that, do they have full reign, or is somebody supervising them? So IRS, when they came in and they did our audit, one of the things is, are we classifying individuals as part-timers, or are they really truly contracted? So it's there as a.
Right, so I'm assuming for extra duty, I'm assuming that's an employee from the district doing extra duty hourly, at an hourly rate, perhaps during the summer or after school. Is that correct?
Well, it's not so much extra duty on it, this is like during the day,
Okay, because
that, a part-time employee
it's classified as extra duty on this
Yeah.
form.
on the list.
So is that an error, or?
We could put it in, we don't have another.
I think the only one we're asking to change is the CTE contracted services line, the red one. All of those that are already in black are already approved. So
Right.
the extra duty that's in black already that's been approved, and yes, that would be tutorials or Saturday school or summer school.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that's what it is, our own faculty and staff doing extra duty above and beyond their normal scheduled hour.
That's correct.
Okay.
But the one we're bringing to the board tonight would be if we bring in somebody from TSTC or someone who's certified, but they teach at Rio Hondo, but
Right.
they can come teach for us after school.
Okay.
That's what we're asking for consideration tonight,
Okay.
just for those CTE, that one line.
Okay, all right,
And again, it's just to have it there, not necessary, if they fit the criteria.
okay,
If
thank you.
not, they'll go through the contracted services.
Okay.
Agenda item? Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 5. Review and discussion of the RFP-1018-DPCNP dairy products for the child nutrition program. Mr. Dunn?
This item, we went out for bids for our dairy products for our child nutrition program. We presented out the board, we had 2 vendors that participated in turning in bids. One was from Borden Dairy and Oak Farms or Hygia. In looking at it, we evaluated, we would like for y'all to consider having an agenda item to award the dairy products to our current vendor, which is Borden. Their price range dropped drastically from what we're paying. They came in at 0.20 cents, which is the majority of our milk. versus 0.24 from Hygieia. And this is a lower bid than we currently are receiving it. And this is a fixed rate for the next 12 months.
Mr. Rendon, how often do we go out to bid for dairy products?
This is the first time we had.
And how many years?
I don't think we had gone out. We've been using the co-op.
So is it fair to say that this lower price is not a product of them, out of the willingness of their heart to drop to 20 cents, but because we haven't gone out to bid in several years?
Could be. This is a low product that our, Ms. Landrum was shocked to do it, to see. They use the fluctuations,
Right.
whatever the market rate is going.
Is there a reason why Ms. Landrum hadn't gone out to bid for several years on this?
Not that I know of, sir. And we're currently, and Mr. Cavazos, our new purchasing director, is in the audience. Currently, we're paying,
I think currently, hello, how are you doing? I think currently they're with the Texas Choice Partners Cooperative Dairy Product. That's who they're currently contracted with, and I think they're paying a fixed price of 0.27%. Before, they were dealing with Region 1. Region 1's member pricing, I think currently was 0.24 in April, and then 0.2498 in May, as far as their chocolate milk, which is considerably lower. The bid that we received is a lot lower than the actual Region 1 pricing. So it's a,
What are we paying now, or what have we paid historically for the, I'm assuming there's a couple of products, correct?
She can come up.
Good evening. Historically, we've paid 24 cents with the Region 1 co-op bid. The thing is that the Region 1 co-op bid is an escalating bid, so there's no fixed pricing. It can have a revision of upward or downward, and historically, they've been upward. So this year, we went with Choice Partners. It is a fixed bid for 27 cents. However, during the summer, the milk vendors submitted pricing to the Region 1 bid, and they were significantly decreased to about 20 cents. So in doing so, we thought it was in the best interest of the district to go ahead and go out for a bid and secure better pricing. And actually, right now, some of the districts in the valley are paying 20 cents with board-ins. That is supported through the Region 1 co-op pricing that's published on there. So this is something that is being paid by other districts. But this is a very good price, and again, it's fixed pricing. So we did that in the best interest of the school district. And if I'm not mistaken, there's I think a condition in there, a clause where we can renew for the
I
next.
think we can renew for the next.
Yeah, so that pricing will roll over.
So, Ms. Cruz, would you have any idea why we did not go out to bid? I know Ms. Landrum's not here to answer that, but
Actually, no, I don't, but I know that we've always used the cooperative bid through Region 1. They've offered that service for years, and we've been a member of that. And that does,
and those did not have fixed rates.
No, that is an escalating bid.
Okay.
And historically, I can tell you, just by looking at the pricing that fluctuates monthly, it has usually had an upward revision. It has never had a downward revision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Rendon, how difficult would it be to go to, I know we've done it before. How difficult would it be to go to award it to both vendors?
we could.
And the reason why I'm
Is
saying
there-
that is because I know we've done it in the past where you award, there's multiple RFPs, and we awarded to more than just one vendor. My concern is that we've had this vendor here for a very long time, and the purpose of us bringing it to the table, and then all of a sudden they lower their price. That's, so my question to you is, how, can we, or is it possible, or?
And that's why I kept harping on why it's been so long, because I think diversifying our options is important.
Well, we could, you say awarded if they were to match the price? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, because there was one item that they did bid lower, and that was the last item, the milk lactose-free. Hygia Org Farms was .62 versus .65. The only thing is that we don't consume a large, that item is not largely used. We could, if they were, now, this was a proposed, RFP, which would be given an opportunity for them to match, but price-wise, it's in the best interest to remain with Borden because of the price.
I think, you know, if, now that they want to lower the price, you know, they should have done that, you know, before considering another company, since, you know, Borden was, you know, kind enough to, you know, bring the price down, so now the other one maybe, you know, wants to win, you know, so I guess Borden should be given the opportunity to do it. The other ones had done it for so many years. Give somebody
No, I
else.
think it's the other way around.
Is the one, okay.
Borden
So
is
Borden's
the
the one
one
that's had it
that's
for a
been
long
here
time.
present.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
Hygia
not
or-
doing good, so this.
Oak Farms came in.
Yeah.
So just to kind of clarify, so we went out for RFPs, right? And Borden resubmitted at a lower rate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looking at it, I mean, if they resubmitted and they won the bid, I think that would be the best practice and just, you know, move on and then again, open it up. How long is this going to take?
12 months, sir.
In 12 months, we go out for bid again?
Just as usually they've been using the co-ops. It's not that they never submitted a bid. We have decided to use a co-op. Previously, it was Region 1, and now it's Choice Partner. So we're going on the price that's the price at that co-op. Yes, typically it's not, we have not gone individually and done RFPs on the cafeteria food individual. This is the first that I've known this is the first item that we go out outside of the co-op. And there is an advantage, and you've seen in some of the other items that we can use a co-op, such as the buy board and so forth, and those are already established prices, and sometimes we go on our own, and then there's an opportunity to have even a more competitive price.
And I think just for me, and I'm fine with what's being recommended, just for us to caution, because since I've been on the board for about 4 years now, it has become evident that as a district, we weren't vetting who we had, and we were being with them for 20, 25 years just because. But when we really did the analyses and the audits, it really came out that who we had in whatever department were not in the best interest of the district. So I kind of use that same rationale here, even if it's dairy, something that's not as small, but it's dairy for our CMP, is we've used a product for so long and a business for so long, why not diversify and allow the district to experience another vendor? That's my only underlying logic.
Can I say something? I think we need to get out of the habit of when people say Region 1 and that TASB, by board, okay, they gave us a price to follow. It doesn't mean we can't look around, okay? We need to stay away from that natural habit we have, oh, buy board, we gotta buy it. No, I truly don't believe in it, TASB either. I respect them, I'm gonna look at them, I'm gonna treat everybody fairly. But what's best for San Benito?
Yes, sir. And I think in the past, we've established that we've gone out for a lot of bids instead of just using typically co-ops, exclusively co-ops.
Definitely. I think I'll follow Mr. Rosa's comment because, you know, it is. To be competitive, we have to go out our natural habitat, and yes, there are certain organizations that support the boards and other entities. But at the same instance, we as an institution, we have a lot of power in that respect to reach out to the masses and say, hey, you know what, we're going to go out for RFPs. And if the organizations that are representing us want to submit a bid for on their part, so be it. But I think we're moving in the right direction to be very competitive and open it up for all players. Thank you.
Agenda item? We're good. Thank you, Ms. Rondon, appreciate it. All right, let's move on to agenda item number 6, committee concerns.
I have one. And this is just pretty much a follow-up on the external audit. Ms. Rendon, can you give me a follow-up on that, on what, where we are as far as the status and the TEA submission?
We had our exit with Dr. Carmen, myself, and my staff today. And it will be on the agenda at your, it will go into our agenda on Tuesday for approval. They're finalizing it. We had, like I said, our exit, so we reviewed it, made some comments. And like I said, it should be timeline, we should need to be submitted to TA by the 27th of November. Yes, sir.
Your experience, how was it?
Like in all audits, something new. Ms. Silva made that comment, something new. They needed to know our organization, our players, who does what. Other than that, my staff worked really hard in providing all the information to them, gathering them up. So it was, to me, it went smooth compared to a prior year. It went smooth.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Can I add something to it also, Mr. President, Dr. Carmen, in reference to what we were talking about a while ago? I think the superintendent has a lot in his hand. We assign coordinators to maintenance, to milk. I think we should start holding these individuals accountability to that position. I mean, regardless, this is one man over here, and he's got his shoulders out there to do the best they can do. And to wait so long until somebody had a competitor, then to lower the price, for how long, how much money did that person make? So I think, Mr. Carmen, we need to hold those people accountable for the position they're holding. Thank you.
Okay, real quick in closing, also, I just want to say, as a board, or as a board member, I'm not speaking for each and every one of y'all, but speaking for myself, I think one of the main responsibilities we have is to be fiscally responsible. As we sit here, the committee will be the first to naysay what we do and how we do it, and so on and so forth. So, as a board, I think it's very important to make sure that we're using our resources, wisely, and making sure that we're fiscally responsible as a whole, and also relaying back that to our constituents and making sure that they know that every single dollar that we're using is in the best interest of our staff and our children. Thank you. I'll move on to agenda item number 7, adjournment, and it's 7:22. Thank you.